Hi everyone, my name is Simon Misiewicz, and in this video we're going to be talking about UK house prices, and they have gone up, but only slight. And is that a sign of the future? Could it be going into decline? Well, time will tell, but there are some indications to say that it's not going to be declining heavily, but there certainly could be some adjustments. So let's get into the detail. So the ONS house prices, they said average UK house prices increased by 2.2%, so it's still gone up to 290,000 in the last 12 months to July 2024, provisional estimate, of course. This is annual growth is down from 2.7%, so the velocity of growth is certainly slowing down. Average house prices increased in England to 306,000. So again, it's exceeded that 300,000. It looks like it's still going to continue. In Wales, it's 218,000, and Scotland 6%. 6% increase. That's actually quite shocking when you see what's going on. Now nearly 200,000. Quite a lot of money in Scotland, isn't there? And there's the graph. You can see the light blue, which is the UK house price index. You can see there's a slump, but again, that slump really doesn't say anything too much. If I'm going to highlight for you, what I mean by that is, I'm just going to see if I can get this line in here. So this line, oh, sorry about bad line. But if anything is below that line, that means house prices are decreasing. Anything above that line means house prices are increasing. It just means that the curve down means that the house prices wasn't increasing as much, but it was still increasing. Only this bit was there a decline. So we are still seeing this little dip now going down, but is that an indication it will flatline? Now, most people have said that house prices are too expensive. I would agree with that in terms of people to be able to afford homes. Could it get to the 0%? Could it go to the -2% over a period of time? Yes, it could, easily. I don't see the 35% that people have spoken about in the past. I think that's kind of old news now. But I still think there is a stabilization. And we have to think about real time as well. What I mean by that is that inflation is still going up, 3.8%, 4%. So if that's the case, then house prices are actually deflating. So if you look at it from that side of things, it will be interesting to see where it goes from now on. If you need some UK property tax advice, feel free to use that QR code and you can get a call with us. So this is the UK regional house prices, and straight away the northeast, Yorkshire, Humber, northwest seems to be the best areas to invest in property if you're looking to invest. And it just says here the northeast was the English region with the highest house inflation in the 12 months, increasing at 3.8%, which is down from 4.1% in previous months, which does show you that there's still going to be that decline even in the north areas in terms of velocity, not house prices. They're not going down. I have to repeat myself here. And your price was lowest in London with a decrease of 0.4% in the 12 months. That house price in London certainly is going down. And I would say that that is going to be something of a trend. I think London is still suffering. It was suffering last year. I think it's going to suffer again. House prices in London, just too much. And if you think about the attack of foreign investors as well, then I can only imagine that will be the case here. The nationwide Halifax Office of National Statistics. I know that a lot of people will say ONS is out of date, so I do like to show you the nationwide and Halifax together. And this is the house price index reports from each of those. If you look at August, Halifax have said that the house price is 292,000, which is up from June and July. The annual increase is only 0.8% though. So again, velocity of house prices still going up, but just not as much. The monthly house price, it's gone up by 0.3%, but nationwide is saying something slightly different. The house price they've got is 265,000, which actually is less than the June-July numbers that they showed before. Again, what you're thinking is, why is it different? Well, because they provide mortgages, they're looking at it from their portfolio of clients. So that's all they're referencing here. If you look at the annual price, it's still 2.4%, which is actually higher than what Halifax and ONS was showing in July. But the monthly change is 0.2% minus. So really, we are seeing a steadying, maybe a slight change in velocity, which way the house price is going down. Maybe house price will go down. What's the indicators to say that? Well, the first thing I would say is that the in the actual inflation, CPIH, is 3.1%, which is actually higher than April, May, June, July. And the government can't stick with this. It's meant to be 2% to 3%. 3.1% is probably north of where it needs to be. Is there an impact on Bank of England interest rates? Well, yes. If inflation goes up again, that means that interest rates needs to go up with it. So really, we're not out of the fire just yet. Unemployment has gone down to 4.1%. So there is a steadying in economy. A business confidence is relatively still quite high. Again, unemployment to impact the house prices would be needing to be 5, 6, 7, 8% before we start seeing an adverse effect on house prices. It's nowhere near that. Mortgage arrears as well seems to be okay. We're seeing that the arrears seems to be really going down. The possessions has gone up, but I'm looking at the arrears and seeing, well, where are we going with this? Because if people can't afford their mortgage arrears will go up, and therefore we might see some houses being sold quite cheap to pay off mortgages. We're not seeing that either. So it'd be interesting. Tell me what you think about UK house prices. I know that these kind of videos always get some sort of controversial comments. That's totally fine. Feel free to leave those comments and let's have a debate about where we think house prices will go in the future.